See that right there? That's every Wyvern you can tame in the game. Yo, what's going on, dudes? My name is Zysho and welcome back. In this episode, we're going to go through all of the Wyverns in ARK. So we're going to start off by looking at all of the Wyverns, their abilities, and then we're going to do the damage calculations. You can skip to that if you want in the chapter system below, so let's get it. First up on our list is one of my favorite classic Wyverns, and that's the Lightning Wyvern. I like how they got that aerodynamic pointy face. These commonly have blue eyes and they have fins at the top of their heads. And also, if you participate in the Halloween events, you can tame the zombie Wyverns by killing the Dodo Wyvern on Scorched Earth. These guys look terrifying, and they should have exactly the same stats as the normal regular Wyverns. Lightning Wyverns have incredible DPS. They shoot a laser beam straight ahead and you can point in the direction you want it to attack. It's got really high range and it does high DPS. Perfect for soloing Alpha Rexes, Titanosaurs and Gigas. Alright, just taking note of the differences. Electric Wyverns have these narrow fins. Zombie Wyverns are a little holy, but the Poison Wyvern looks more like a Dilo. Look at these fin flaps facing forward. I like their teeth as well. The teeth are a little different. And the forked tongue. And their eyes are yellowy greenish. Ooh, worth pointing out the tails are also different in each of these Wyvern classes. The Poison looks more amphibious. The zombies don't have the fins, seems to have decomposed. These guys are beasts. They throw a poison projectile. Very scary if you get hit by one of these. You gotta watch your HP. Alright, so we saw the lightning and then the poison, and now the last of the three amigos, the fire Wyvern. Obviously, they do a fire breath. Their skull consists of spikes and they have like a goatee hanging out. Best used against the alpha Wyverns because they're immune to fire damage. But yeah, we'll look at the attacks in more detail in just a minute. Their tail just has these two big spikes coming out the bottom. Very different to the other two. And obviously you got the zombie Wyvern for this as well. Now, those were the three original classic Wyverns and their zombie counterparts released in Scorched Earth. But now, check this out. There is a fourth Wyvern, which only spawns on Ragnarok, and also spawns on Valguero as well, and that's the Ice Wyvern. Got a nice unique face there, and the skull is full of icicle style pointy spikes. And let's see, goatee on the fire, but no goatee on Mr. Ice. That's good, man. Each Wyvern should have different features. I like how the tail also has the spikes. And this guy does an ice breath attack which slows the opponent down. Again, we'll look at these in just a bit. Okay, and now, just to recap, the latest Wyverns to be introduced are the Crystal Wyverns, as part of the Crystal Isles map. First up, the Tropical, which is my favourite out of the three so far. Wait a minute, this guy has a goatee? I think the Crystal Wyverns are all modelled after the Fire Wyvern. Let's check the tail. Yeah, see, look, they both got the two giant spikes at the bottom, same as the fire. Their abilities are awesome. There's a water attack which slows your opponent and has a damage over time, and they also get a hydration buff, same as the Spino. And at night, they have a glow around them. You see these tiny little blue spheres? The classic Wyverns don't have that. Well, this is Crystal Isles, so you will see random lights floating around, but I'm mostly concerned about the little tiny ones hanging above the Wyverns. The Blood Wyvern also has these, but theirs are usually grey coloured. I don't know, kind of hard to see, and their eyes are blacked out. Oh, amazing. I like these gems as well on their skulls. Usually they change to full white in the dark. I'm not sure if you can see that special effect hanging around. But yeah, these Wyverns have a blood drain ability. Does less damage than the Tropicals, but they also regen their HP. So it's a trade-off. Tail is also the same model. An army of these guys spec'd fully into HP will crush anything. Now, moving on to the last Wyvern on our list, the Ember Wyvern. At first I thought they were exactly the same as fire, but then as you kept using the special attack, they kept getting stronger and stronger until the enrage meter filled in. However, you'll have to spec more into stamina for these guys just to keep up that consistent attack. So I'd breed and get as many mutations in stamina and damage as possible. But to me, they look exactly the same as a tropical, but more redder. Here we are quickly at night time just to show you how they look. The zombie Wyverns have glow in the dark eyes. The poison Wyvern has those two poison things. Oh, looks amazing. I wish the Lightning Wyvern had some static electricity floating around itself. Then we have the glow-in-the-dark Crystal Wyverns. Really nice there on the skull, the wings and the feet. Oh, and look at the wing. There's actually an animation on the wing. Same on the Tropical as well. And the Tropical has the best overall colours in my opinion, especially when mutated. So now, let's look at the attacks. Okay, so I spawned level 1s in here to get the base stats, and I'm doing this for every Wyvern. So let's check the stats out in detail. Now, before the TLC3 update, the original Wyverns were stronger by 165 HP. Their stamina was lower by 50, but they had 500 more food and 100 more weight. Now this is at level 1, we're testing base stats here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are in TLC3, as you can see by my Noglin chibi. And now we can breed the original Wyverns. But have they been nerfed? Let's find out the stats. Okay, I'm just comparing the stats between a normal Wyvern and a Crystal Wyvern, and wow, they are really similar. Okay, we're going through a full breakdown now. Let's get to the stats. So after the TLC3 update, the original Wyverns now have the same HP as the Crystal Wyverns. Their stamina is only reduced by 10, and the food is higher by 300, not 500. And the weight is the same as before, higher by 100. So if you just compare the before and afters here, we only need to look at the ones on the left because the Crystal Wyverns, there's been no change to their stats. It's only the ones which are breedable now, the original Wyverns. So as a percentage, you would have seen your Wyverns decrease their HP by about 25%. Their stamina would have been increased by 15%, and the food has been decreased by 10%. Okay, now let's go through the damage outputs by the Wyverns. I'll put a summary at the end as well. So the Lightning Wyvern's bite hits for 70, and the special is a beam of 22 damage. That was the zombie Wyvern. Let's just compare it with the actual normal Wyvern, just confirming that they do hit for the same, and they do. Next up is the Poison Wyvern. Same again. 70 bite, and their projectile, if it hits, does an insane 88 damage, followed by a 10 damage over time. Be careful, dude, these attacks go straight through your armor. Remember, I'm testing this out on a level 1, so this is their base damage, okay? Next up, the Fire Wyvern. Same again with a 70 bite. Had a very low initial fire breath, but the damage over time there is insane, 75. And of course, the same damage produced on the original Wyverns as well. And also, be careful if you're on a Fire Wyvern, because herbivores have a thick hide ability which reduces their damage over time fire damage by 60%. So as you can see, testing on a Parasa, the bite does 70 still, the initial fire breath still does 17, but the damage over time is only 30. Now on to the Ice Wyvern. Same overall attack of 70 bite, but the special only does 17. But that's not the point. The point is the slow effect, which slows the enemy target for 10 seconds. Now the Crystal Wyvern should be weaker here, so the Tropical Wyvern only does 39 for a bite, so it's about 45% weaker, and that's an okay damage over time there. And also, if they touch water, they get bonus health regen, movement speed increase, and increased damage by about 15%. The dot remains unchanged. Now the Blood Wyvern, slightly weaker than the Tropical, however it does get a health regen for 5 seconds. Okay, let's quickly do the health test. The starting HP is 171.4, and when you look on the top right, when it gains the HP regen buff, it will last 5 seconds, and you can see there I had roughly 75 points added in HP. Here we go with the Ember Wyvern. Solid 39 bite, and now the first attack, 14 damage with 45 damage over time. Second, it's only increased by 1. Third is increased by another 1. But the damage over time is increasing so much now. Keep your eyes on the rage meter on the right. Increase the damage from 14 all the way up to 21, and the damage over time from 45 to 67. So now we look at the overall damage outputs for every Wyvern. The originals have a higher bite attack. There is the special effects followed by the damage over times that each Wyvern can deal, and here are the special abilities that each Wyvern has. For me, I think the Lightning Wyvern has the overall best DPS. Poison would be amazing for PvP, but you have to get the aim right. The Fire is another solid choice, great for hit and run missions. The Ice Wyvern, especially if you're trying to chase a flyer, is a good choice in aerial combat. My favourite is the Tropical so far, mostly because of the movement speed and a little bit of HP recovery. Swarm of Blood Wyverns would go amazing with that HP regen. And the Ember Wyverns, I'm not too sure because you have to spec a lot into stamina as well as melee damage to get that extra damage. So you have to figure out a nice balance between those two. Let me know in the comments which is your favourite Wyvern and why. And finally, now for breeding. From the last TLC3 update, the original Wyverns are now breedable. Except you, zombie Wyverns. Sorry guys. So all of the Wyverns are now paired up. Let's get to breed them. So bring on the mutations. Hey, they're hatching! They're hatching! Wait, has that animation always been in there? It's like, oh, hey, I came out of an egg. Hey, I think it has. Wait, hold on a sec. Why does the Tropical Wyvern get some water coming out the egg? Surely the other two should get some special effects as well, right? Ooh, we have a pinky blood wyvern. Look at these cute little babies. Got some itty bitty wyverns. Now, I thought they changed the breeding process to make it a little bit more interesting, but it's exactly the same as what it was before when you normally hatched an egg. Oh, the crystal wyverns look great in the dark. The imprinting thing is exactly the same as what it was before. I wish each wyvern had a unique imprint, like take me to water or something, feed me some corpses and put me in fire or something. And if it was a poison, I'd feed it nameless venom or narcotics. That would be interesting, right? Anyways guys, that's going to be it for this episode. If you enjoyed, hit that like button. And if you want to see more ARK content, hit subscribe. And I'll see you all next time.